1970. 1970. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. What's going on with YouTube? MemphisMike out here on the CB 1100 today, riding through the traffic of Memphis. Yep, that's where I got my name from, MemphisMike, aka I do live in Memphis. That's right. That's exactly right. What I want to talk about today briefly, for those that are interested, I'm shooting with the Cena 10C at 1080 at 30 frames per second, and also the GoPro Hero 4 Silver at 1080 at 30 frames a second also. So yeah, that's what's going on. Quick question. Revzilla posted an article, talked about why motorcyclists and some more motorcyclists are downsizing to smaller motorcycles. Why they're downsizing to smaller motorcycles. And I don't know if I find that, statistically to be true, but let's just present it. Many of you know I've got a Honda Goldwing big bike, GL 1800. But I also have the CB 1100. It's a large touring bike versus just a standard upright bike. The UJM, they call it, the Universal Japanese Motorcycle. Maybe you've got a big old Harley Davidson Electra Glide or Ultra Classic or Road Glide, but maybe you also own a Sportster, something a little smaller as well. Sometimes people downsize to smaller bikes just for the simple fact they love having something smaller, something lighter to zip around town in, and it's easier to handle. Maybe it fits you better. Maybe you're a short person. Maybe a big old huge bike is not for you. Maybe you're an older person, older individual, and you're not comfortable with holding up a 950-pound Goldwing, or say an Ultra Classic, which I guess an Ultra Classic is probably at least 800 plus pounds. I don't know if it weighs as much as a Goldwing, but maybe that's the issue. Maybe you got knee issues, some reason prevents you from a large motorcycle. But is there a trend to other people wanting to own smaller bikes? I can tell you a smaller bike is fun to ride around. You may not feel, or let me say this, on the speedometer, you might not be going as fast as you would per se on a larger bike, but at a slower speed, you feel like you're going fast. Does that make sense? When you're ripping through and you're winding it out and you're cutting through the twisties at a slower speed, you feel like you're going fast. In other words, it's almost more fun to go slower on a smaller bike than it is slower on a large bike. I get on that Goldwing, man, I want to rip it and I want to go. I get on the CB 1100 and the slower speed, I'm having just as much fun. So what about you? Have you ever thought about adding a smaller motorcycle to your fleet? Have you ever thought about adding something smaller? Maybe you've got a large touring bike, but you want something to zip around town in. Have you ever thought about that? But like I said, maybe you got a big Harley Ultra Classic, and maybe you like to have a sporty just to zip around town. Is that the way you operate, you function, or are you just a one-person bike and you're happy with your big hog or your big Goldwing? Is that how you feel? Let me hear your thoughts, YouTube. Let me hear your thoughts on that. This is MemphisMike, and I will see you later.